I can literally listen to Meghan Markle screaming about this documentary, guys, because it gets worse from there.
Coming up, Meghan breaks the royal code of silence with a shock disclosure and starts cashing in on the global attention that comes with the royal title.
She wanted to really monetize everything, and she understood, I think, if she left, she could monetize the fact that she'd been in the royal family.
Let's all pretend that we're in absolute shock about this groundbreaking news, but this new documentary on Rachel Meghan Markle will show you what we've been talking about for so many years. And it will show you the astounding hypocrisy of Meghan Markle, some royal experts that you guys love, and some royal experts that you know very little about, but they are actually very honest. And they pull the veil from the image and show the real damage of Rachel Meghan Markle to the monarchy, how broke she is, the real state of the relationship with Prince Harry. And oh my God, this woman, the levels of desperations of this woman are laid bare for all of us to watch. It is incredible to me how it took almost 7 years for this to come out in the mainstream media with this new documentary on Rachel Meghan Markle. They're still trying to, some of the royal reporters, to kind of portray her as this incredible feminist. But at the same time, at the very end, the conclusions can't be avoided, can they? That she is at the very end, when you lay everything bare, just like that, when you remove all the little flower sprinkly things, that this woman is a fraud, is a failure, is untalented, and she is destructive. So let's get to it, beautiful people.
And also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What? Did the royal family enormous damage? Given what they were actually after, worldwide publicity and launching a nuclear weapon at the royal family, Oprah was a terrific success.
This interview was their calling card, a signal to the world that they had a story and they were ready to share it.
By the way, my name is Paula M. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the like button. You know that over 60% of you beautiful people who watch the channel are not subscribed. So please hit the subscribe button. It's free. And let's get with it. That they were willing to share it. Isn't it amazing how Meghan Markle kept saying how she's willing to share her wine, share her little sprinkle flowers, share her spread or drip, whatever it is? No, it's called sell. Didn't she complain to Oprah Winfrey that her sister Samantha Markle, wasn't she so angry at Samantha Markle because Samantha Markle had allegedly changed her last name, which we know is not true, back to Markle when Meghan got engaged to Harry, and she was now exploiting and monetizing of her. So I guess the problem for Meghan, it's not the exploitation or monetization or that you exploit other people. It's the fact that she doesn't get to do it. People are doing it off of her. But it's okay for her to do it of other people, if you know what I mean. So this documentary really exposes how broke they are. That Meghan is exposed as what is incredible about this is that they finally admit that she is a complete failure and that she shamelessly is exploiting a royal title. And they still try to justify it by saying, good on her. Then these are the very same royal experts. Some of them are the very same royal experts. They condemn Samantha Markle for exploiting her links to Meghan Markle. Yet here they praise her as a savvy businesswoman at the same time. But then you have these other reporters and royal experts who are saying, no, that's not right. So you can't have it both ways, guys. And this is the people, and this is why I say to you that us YouTubers are the ones who have to come and really fight against this narrative that they put out. Because even though in this documentary they try to spin it, they can't help it because the gaslighting, it's so brutal sometimes that you wonder, do they think we're actually really that stupid? You really have to ask yourself that.
Status, the couple had struck an extremely lucrative deal with Netflix.
Now, with the Netflix deal, we heard about huge sums. I mean, they've heard people talking about $75 million, $100 million.
What would they buy with Harry and Meghan? They're buying royal.
The producer fees, for example, across each of the shows, that could range between $250,000 to $1 million. So they'll still make some good money from it, but it's not $100 million in their back pocket personally.
So you see, the truth is coming out that they never received $100 million, like everybody was saying. Netflix made a deal between Archwell Productions, which, by the way, it's not trademarked, and Netflix. But they were not getting the money here's $100 million, Meghan. No, that never happened. No, it was per show, and depending on the streaming, depending on the viewing, which didn't get very many views. The only one that got a lot of views was Harry and Meghan. And that just initially. After that, all went downhill. The Pearl Book, the Polo, the Live to Lead, actually that was made by the Mandela thing, and they just bought the rights to it. And then, well, of course, the Invictus Games with Harry, they all tanked. As ever with Meghan, we know that the numbers were massaged, and even though they try to portray it as a huge success, we know that it wasn't. We know that this woman has been hawking, lying, deceiving people. But this documentary really bears it all. And it's still amazing how you're going to see here, some of these royal experts still try to defend this woman's craziness.
They called it a docuseries. Personally, I would call it a reality show. But it was a program about them and gave them a chance to whinge more about their time in the royal family, complain.
You think? Do you really think that was what it was? I mean, this is the thing that's extraordinary to me, that Richard Eden is coming out right now and talking about it. And I wonder how much these people got paid. You know that Meghan Markle Lemonada's podcast only made $40,000. This is a woman that at the same time they're trying to portray her as this amazingly successful, that she attracts all the brands, she attracts all of this, and yet she's absolutely broke. Her ass is broke. There were no $100 million. Spotify absolutely called him out. Now, Richard Eden in 2025, this is a new documentary in 2025. So now they're all saying what we YouTubers have been saying all along. Well, they were trying to discredit us, and they're still doing that to a large extent.
The thing that always stands out to me, and that I know stands out to a lot of people, is when she imitated her first bow for the Queen.
It was like that. Like, I curtsied as though I was like, pleasure to meet you, Your Majesty. Why?
After you see this scene, we get Richard Eden saying, I think that, that scene could be seen like disrespectful. You think this 40-year-old skank is there disrespecting the Queen in a worldwide stage? Harry has never looked so without balls like he did sitting on that couch, watching a D-list mattress actress skank, a failed one at that, basically ridiculing the culture, because you see, cursing is part of the culture. He sat there and watched that absolute horror of a woman mock his entire nation, everything that his own mother was respectful of, and his brother, his family, everything, his entire nation, and that all that was there, everything that they had, the reason why his ginger ballless one ball ass and that woman with so many fake weaves are sitting there on that couch mocking the royal family while using the titles, is because of the very same royal family they're absolutely disrespecting, especially the late Queen. And what is worse is that this was published 2 months after the death of the Queen. And it wouldn't have mattered whether the Queen was alive or not. That was disrespectful to the hilt.
If they weren't royal, no one would be interested in them.
Really? Really? Remember all those insane amounts that they said he had $60 million? No, they finally come clean and admit that Harry never had $60 million, that Harry had only $14 million that his mom left him. And then plus the $5 million from Meghan Markle, which we know she didn't have. In this documentary, we find out how much Harry was actually worth in money-wise when they moved to California. $14 million, dude. That's it. That's it, folks. And yet they bought that house. And I mean, what? $5 million for Meghan Markle? She had nothing. This woman was hawking everything. I mean, in 2015, when she was flown to the opening of Soho House in Istanbul, she was hired as a carpet filler. Even her name was not even mentioned. It was named a guest because she was so little known. What? $5 million? Can somebody please help me with this? And now we know that Netflix never gave him the $100 million. Now we know that Spotify never gave him the $20 million. That they barely got $700,000, guys. That's it.
Deal like this with Netflix, a multi-year deal, is going to have all kinds of performance elements. You're not guaranteed to get the number on the contract.
The money had gone on glossy productions, but to keep the cash flowing, they'd need Netflix to renew. Would they have to rely on their royal connections to seal another deal?
Now, what I would like you to explain to me is what royal connections? Because according to what we know, Prince William is not speaking to them. Catherine is not speaking to them. Duchess of Edinburgh, none of them are speaking, unless, of course, the royal connections means King Charles. Because let's not forget that I think Ted Sarandos finally got an OBE last December. For what? So are those the royal connections that these people are speaking of? Because that's all that's keeping them attached. And this documentary does an excellent job of brutally exposing that the only thing they have to offer is the exploitation and the trashing of the royal family. But what royal connections? I ask you, beautiful people, please help me understand this, because I don't get it. What else do they have to exploit or to connect to? Other than the fact that King Charles keeps rewarding that was a personal recommendation that Charles did to hand the OBE to this Ted Sarandos guys for what? I don't know. I mean, I'm confused. Please leave it to me in your comments.
But is this fearless champion of women's rights also a savvy operator, cashing in on her royal connections to help build an empire?
I mean, it's shocking to me, the fact that most of these royal experts don't see anything wrong about that statement. How Meghan Markle, a woman who is a champion rights woman, is literally using a royal title in able to succeed in a country that just celebrated July 4th, by the way, Independence Day from the empire. And the fact that she desperately clings to that. Do you think she's exploiting? Do you think anybody would give a two rat's ass about Meghan Markle were it not for the fact that she managed to screw this guy, and now she is clinging on to that Sussex title like there's no tomorrow, because she knows that she herself, as Meghan Markle, has no worth. She's worth less. Meghan Markle is worth nothing. The Duchess of Sussex is worth, at least for now, still a little bit.
I think when they signed on to Spotify, it was very much signing on the names, the couple, Harry and Meghan, the story of what they went through.
Or maybe a royal chat show.
You can't be a one-trick pony, and they know that. Not permanently, not for successive years.
The problem is, I mean, that Harry and Meghan are a one-trick pony, both of them, because the only thing they have going on for them are the titles. And what is really interesting in this whole thing is that they never once bring the children into the documentary or talk about this. They avoid talking about the children like the plague. So, and then of course, they go on to explain in this documentary how they really never made the $20 million, how Bill Simmons called them out, the effing grifters that we all know that happened. And it's even more amazing that people still think that they still have some value. No wonder Meghan Markle is trying to block this documentary. I would too, especially if they're telling the truth about it and they're basically exposing you like a nobody without a title who knows nothing of an industry when you misrepresent yourself to the world as this savvy, intelligent humanitarian, and all you turn out to be is a cheap used car saleswoman that is not even very good at selling cars. That I would desperately try to hide that too. So everything that this woman has done has been a massive failure. At least Fergie did make money. She really did hustle because Fergie did put the work in, even though I despise Fergie. But she was out there hustling, promoting. Meghan Markle and Harry don't even want to promote whatever it is that other producers do because they do the bare minimum. I mean, it's incredible, guys.
But actually, the real reason that she's making so much money now is because of her marriage to Prince Harry.
A joint statement was released. They had mutually agreed to part ways.
It's not clear how well the program did, but what we do know is that Spotify ditched them. They didn't renew the deal.
Apparently, Meghan was very difficult to work for. Things started leaking out. People needed therapy or hidden toilet. You have to ask the question, who's advising them? Do they have any advisors? Because the whole thing seems so shambolic. They have got advisors. They've got great advisors. They're just not listening to them. Because the only person that counts here is Meghan. And Meghan goes with her gut. She listens to herself. And it's what Meghan thinks and wants that counts.
I can literally listen to Meghan Markle screaming about this documentary, guys, because it gets worse from there. She's not making it. Nothing that she has is actually working. Why? Because this woman, by herself, it's a nobody. Isn't it incredible how after 7 years we've come full circle to expose that they're both broke, that Harry and Meghan Markle are going their separate ways or mostly separated, that they didn't get the hundreds of millions of dollars, that Harry was not the millionaire that they thought there were, and that Meghan is stupid. That's what this really boils down to. And that the only thing that they have to offer is a royal title. And Harry's full of regret. And what is really interesting in this documentary is that they are really, really going for rehabilitating Prince Harry's image, because they talk how he really was a good guy and he missed his duty, that he really thought that they were going to do everything and they were going to be dutiful, but Meghan Markle is evil. You know what? This is how the royal family starts to work when they want to bring somebody back in PR. It's called soft PR. And it's incredible to watch in real time because I've seen it happen with a couple of other royals. And I think they're trying to do it with Andrew, and now they're doing it with Harry. The gaslighting is insane. Meghan Markle is doing her best to sue these people, to block the hell out of them, but she can't. Because everything is alleged, everything is an opinion, and you cannot sue facts, because then she would have to disclose and show the receipts that they're lying, and she knows that they're not. She knows that people have her number, that we know we can see her for who she is, which is a total fraud.
That was her big rebrand. And all of a sudden she went from, in her early career, she was the feminist who's got, angry that women were depicted as only being in the kitchen. And then she reinvented herself as the trad, at home, in the kitchen, cooking.
But while the title of her show referred to her simply as Meghan, she wanted to remind everyone, including her guests, that she was still a duchess.
I don't think anyone in the world knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and
It's so
loves
funny too that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now.
And that was seized upon as a clip.
I was a little bit embarrassed for them, to be honest. Mindy actually kind of almost stood back when she actually heard the news that she was Meghan Sussex, because everybody probably was quite surprised.
So to be clear, Meghan didn't agree to anything. Meghan, this was not that was the Queen's order. You, to save face, get to keep the HRH, but you cannot use it. This was not a negotiation. This was not a request. This was not an agreement. This was a direct order from the owner of that style and all the titles, which is the monarch of the United Kingdom.
In April 2025, podcaster Jamie Kern-Lima shared a picture of a sweet thank you gift from the Duchess after Meghan had appeared as a guest on her podcast. But it wasn't the gift that got people talking. It was the card, signed off with Her Royal Highness. This was seen as going against the spirit of the Megxit deal.
It was just absolutely ridiculous.
It only takes a stroke of a pen to turn Prince Henry Charles Albert David into Henry Charles Albert David Mountbatten Windsor, the civil citizen. That's all it takes. Whoever is telling you that Parliament is needed, it is not. Okay? Parliament has already answered that age-old question that the king or the monarch can remove all royal titles and styles. This is incredible. This is a very, very telling documentary that it's coming out of left field. So for me, this means that the royal families actively now decided we've had enough of Meghan Markle. We're going to expose her, and it's only a matter of time before the bullying report comes out. And this hit piece on Meghan Markle, it's brutal and it's worth the watch. I mean, they really, really show the real Rachel Meghan Markle, and she hates it because it's not what she wants to see. And again, she's portraying herself as the victim while using lawyers to try to sue them because Netflix is not renewing the contract. She's done. Spotify doesn't want anything to do with her. Lemonada doesn't want to have anything to do with her. She's not selling anything. So what is left for them now that we know that Harry only had $14 million in his pockets when they fled the United Kingdom? That's all Harry was worth. And they have made less than $20 million. And their security is worth $2 million a year alone. This is an absolute takedown. And it's a very timely takedown. As usual, I appreciate you. Please leave me your comments. I will leave the link on the video description of this documentary for you to watch so we can discuss it further on Saturday.